Okay, stop it. Right, so the question is a question 4. Okay. How does Kari Herbert, I'm sure she's a Herbert, use structure and language to show the conflict of her thoughts and feelings? Question mark. Now what we're going to do is these writing tasks, these writing days, we're going to work through it. Now I'm not going to give you, I might actually set you a prep to finish this answer based on what we've done today, okay? Which means that I'm not going to set you a time, but I want you to have a go at writing it, okay? But it's going to take it slowly, going to really, really carefully craft it, and then I can have it in for next Thursday. So we'll do that as a prep. I'll put it on iTunes, so it's all going to be sort of sorted out there for you. Okay, right. If you've got different coloured pens, I'm going to use different coloured pens. You don't have to use the same colours as me, but so long as that you understand the different colours that you're working with, that's fine. Right. What is the question actually about?
Language.
Will?
Her emotions.
Her emotions. Interesting. Another one? Owen? Why she uses intricate pieces of language. Interesting. Another one?
How she uses structure.
How she uses structure. Interesting. No. The question says, how does Kari Herbert do all of that? You have to cover all of that, but that's not what the question's focusing on. The question wants you to talk about her. That's what the question's about. However, it is not about you giving me a little biography or a potted history about Kari Herbert. It is about the choices she is making. Okay? So, when I annotate, you annotate. I think you can do black boxes and arrows and things like that. So you can do like text boxes and stuff. So, down here. Okay. So this is what choices does, I'm going to call her KH, make to show us that she is confused. That's what the question is asking you to do. What choices does Kari Herbert make to show us that she's confused? Now, is that an easier question than the one that I've written at the top? Yeah, but it's identical. They're asking you to do exactly the same thing, except the one at the top is just a bit wordier, because that is the one that you're going to get in the exam. That is the one that we're going to answer. Now, what the exam question will also steer you towards is the fact that she uses stuff. So she uses structure. We'll come to that in a minute. She uses language. Okay, language is a really, really fancy term we use for words. Okay, so what words has Kari Herbert chosen to use to show us that she's confused? That's so much easier, isn't it? However, the exam board are not geared up like that, and you need to think. So this is why we're doing this. Okay, so the choices. So the choices here involve, what words has she used? What words has Kari Herbert used to blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah? Yeah? Does that make sense? Good. Now, so we've done the languagey bit. Now, what is structure? Can you use structure? Is it a thing? Can you go out and buy structure? Can you walk into structure? Unless it's scaffolding, of course.
Right.
Not really. So it kind of isn't a thing. This is how has she ordered her ideas? What order has she told us her stuff? Okay? So rather than saying how has she used structure, no, you can't go and buy it, therefore it doesn't quite exist. How has she structured her ideas? How has she ordered the stuff she's telling us? What does she say first? What does she say second? What does she say last? Where is she foregrounding? Where is she leading us up to something? Where does she refer back? That's the order of the information, okay? So here, what order has Kari Herbert shown us her ideas and how she's feeling? So does she tell us about how confused she is at the beginning? Does she?
No.
No, she doesn't. Why is it important that she doesn't tell us, you know what, I'm really confused about how I feel towards the Narwhals and the Inuits. I don't quite know what to do. I'm all a bit of a tiz. Why doesn't she do that until right at the end? Go on.
Because it ruins the story.
It does. She's done it purposely. Did she intend to do it? Of course she did. She's a writer. That's what they do. So we've done that one. So hopefully we've kind of looked at the question and now suddenly worked out, actually, you know what, this isn't too bad. But the question, they're badly phrased, but unfortunately that's the way the exam boards work. Okay, so what are we focusing on? So we're talking about her choices, but what about her choices? Choices about what? What choices is she making? What has to be our kind of our angle or our shade of our answer? Are we talking about her choice of warm weather wear? No. Are we talking about her choice of candlelight? No. We're talking about her choice of
Does she like whale hunting?
or not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So this part here. Okay. This is about, so what does Kari Herbert feel and think about hunting narwhal? She feels one thing and she thinks another, doesn't she? She feels... What does she feel?
Mixed emotion.
Kind of mixed, kind of few. She feels respect towards the hunters. She understands them. She thinks that what they're doing is really impressive. She understands that. But she feels in awe. She feels protective over the actual creatures. She doesn't feel protective over the Inuits, though, does she? She doesn't talk about their children or the elderly. She just kind of talks them as a bunch of people, which is fine. So that is more or less what the question's asking us to do. Now, what I then want us to focus on is what we call what, how, why. Okay? Are you familiar with PEE? Yeah? Okay, so in the margin, P, E, E. I don't know how you'll be able to do this on the iPad, but I'm sure you can work it out. Okay, which, so what was the P?
Point.
Point. Point about what? Yep. E, first one. Evidence. Second E? Explain. Make sure you've written that down.
I thought you said we shouldn't use that one.
Wait. So write that down. And then with a red pen, cross it out. With...
Wait, why are we crossing it out?
Just do as I tell. Go on, I'll tell you in a minute. No, it's not. Perfect. Give it a go. There is a reason behind it, and this is where we're going to go next. No. You need to cross it out because you need to see that this is not the way we're working. So, we're not scribbling, we're just crossing it out. Now, the reason we're crossing it out is because of what we're going to do. We are going to do what, how, and why. Yeah? What, how, and why. The reason is that when you explain, you end up by simply translating quotes, which is currently what I'm dealing with fifth form. Okay? Sorry? You can do a tick if you would like. So the what. The question could be, what does she feel towards the narwhal? What is she feeling towards the narwhal? So let's have that question down. What does Kari Herbert feel towards the narwhal? So how could you answer that question? Kari Herbert feels what towards it? Go on, feels
Sympathy.
sympathy. Feels,
Emotion.
yeah, well, it's like, how do you make bread with an oven? Come on, we can do better than that. You can't feel table, can you? So feeling and emotions are exactly the same thing. Okay? So Kari Herbert feels sympathy towards the narwhal, feels...
Mythical.
Does she feel mythical? She feels that the narwhal are
Feels
mythical. Yeah? So think carefully about it. If she feels mythical, she's not too sure whether she's real or not. Yeah? If she feels the narwhal are mythical, she's not too sure if they're real, which we have evidence for. So the way we phrase it is really, really important so we can nail the point.
So we're all phrasing it so we just don't get confused.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How does she do it? How does she show us this is what I'm feeling? She won't tell you, I feel like this towards them. No, she will show you. Okay? This is where we can put our evidence. So, how does Kari Herbert show you, or show us, with her words, with her word choices, there we go, that's with her word choices, her feeling. Okay? That's when you put in your quote.
Wait, what does that say?
How does Kari Herbert show us, with her word choices, her feelings? Yeah? What might the why be? Because it's probably two whys. Go on.
Why does Kari Herbert?
Feel like this.
Yeah.
Perfect. Why does Kari Herbert feel like this? Key word you can use. Kari Herbert feels like this. Because. Good.
Due.
Okay. Do a double underline for that one because that's a really, really important word. What's the second potential why?
Why is she writing about it?
So we're doing justification. Why? Why is she writing about? Why is this important to her? Yeah? So why is this important to her? That's our purpose, isn't it? Yeah, for thinking about our gap, that's exactly the point behind why she needs to tell us this, why we need to know how she feels. We've then got, why do these words show us? Why do these words work? Why do these words give us the suggestion this is how she's feeling? Okay, so why do these words, so that goes back to your quote. Okay, why do these words show how she feels? Or why do these words work? Why has she chosen those words? So why do these words work? Why do they do their job? Why has she chosen to use those ones? Okay? That should then be a really, really stunning paragraph. Quite a chunky one, okay? But you could do it as in answering each of these questions kind of becomes a sentence. Kind of. As you get more confident, you can start blending them which is fine. So what I want us to have a go at is writing a paragraph answering these questions. Now, we're not doing question 1. What does Kari Herbert feel towards the narwhal? Kari Herbert feels this. Okay? It needs to be part and parcel of discussion. So the questions in the what, how, why are to lead you to make your own thoughts, make your own decisions on how you want to write about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this together in 10 minutes. Should you give it a go? Yeah. Why not? Okay. So with your anthologies then, let's have a look at the first question. You've got all the notes. Why? So the question is, from up here, what choices, what words has she used to show us how she feels, and what order has she shown her ideas? Now, you don't have to do words in order at the same time. So you could do, this one here could be about, I don't know, the opening, and what she says in the opening, and why it's important to say it in the opening, and then we can go into the detail of exactly the words that she's using. Or it could be that actually you've chosen a really interesting quote, and there we go. But what would be useful is if you could tell me whereabouts in the writing it is. Okay? So how can we identify where? What could be a phrase that we can say where? If you have a look at the board behind you, we've got things like introduces, develops, reinforces, builds, reveals, shifts. We've got some shifts going on, haven't we, in terms of how she feels. Strengthens.
Reveals. Shift.
Reveals. Okay, so let's have a go. What are we going to say? What's the idea that we're going to deal with first? What does she feel? What does Kari Herbert feel towards the narwhal? Yeah, Kari Herbert. Okay, she likes them. Now, for GCSE, we can do a little better than just liking. Where in our extract is it that she likes them? Let's start with the opening paragraph. Where in the opening paragraph have we got evidence that she quite likes them? Gabe?
Catching the light in spectral play.
Okay, good. Keep hold of that. Okay. That's where we're going. So, Kari Herbert.
We write this.
Yep. Now, what's really important is if I make a mistake, you need to make that mistake as well. Okay? Because what's more valuable is not that we can simply write this top of our head and it's super duper perfect, but if you make a mistake, I need to see how you are thinking about the correction and what you are correcting it to do. So it's that process of understanding where we're going and what we're doing in order to then produce a decent piece of work. So Kari Herbert, how can we comment? Come on, how does she feel? Kari Herbert reveals. Ooh, reveals. Where in the text? Early on?
Yes.
Early on in the extract. Okay, reveals early on the extract that she is it just a like? What note did we say? The whole when she's dealing with the colour and stuff. I reckon it's got 3 letters to it.
What do you mean?
So how she feels towards the narwhal, 3 letters.
Sad.
No.
Magical.
Does she feel magical? No. Okay, so Kari Herbert reveals earlier in the excerpt that she feels the narwhal are magical. Let's go with that one, yeah? Okay? That she feels, considers, thinks of. So, write it down, then cross it out. No, simply because I need to see the process, and you need to understand there is a process to making sure we can craft the response. Okay? Sorry?
No, she needs to be able to
No,
see
because
it.
I want to see your crafting. Yeah? Okay? What did we say? Considers? Okay, considers. The narwhal are magical. Have we answered that first what question? How does she feel?
Yeah.
Have we answered that first, what does Kari Herbert feel about the narwhal? Have we answered it? Good. Okay. We're on our way. If that's all that you do, okay, you will get a tick. There will be marks. There won't be many, but there will be marks. Is this that difficult? No. So we're going to take this slowly, but we are crafting the response, which means, and during a craft, it's a trial and error. And if you make a mistake, I want to see the mistake. Don't scrabble it out because I need to see the way you've understood it.
So how many marks would it be for that question?
What? Oh, the question's 12 marks.
So
But it's not points win prizes.
okay.
It's about how you're writing.
Even if we do an essay, we have to do that.
For Inspector Calls, we follow those what, how, why. It is exactly the same way. So if you can nail it for this, you can do it for basically every question you're given. Yeah? Happy days. So Kari Herbert reveals early on in the extract that she considers the narwhal a magical. Have we talked about structure? As in order of things?
Yes.
Yes.
We
Early on,
have,
yeah.
early on. That wasn't too hard, was it? No, not at all. Come on, this is easy. We can do this. So Kari Herbert reveals early on in the extract that she considers the narwhal a magical. Next question. How does Kari Herbert show us, with her word choices, her feelings? How do we know that she feels that they're magical? How has she used her words?
She calls them magical.
Does she?
Oh, not in that, but later on.
Let's deal with the beginning bit,
Yes.
and then we can say later on she then uses the word magical herself. Right, so find me the evidence and let's see how we can put it in. She uses lots of big words. No, we don't. No, we can't write that. Okay, so what's the glittering kingdom? Is it the water? The environment? The environment. She describes the environment as and what we're going to do is we're going to embed the quote. It's going to be part and parcel of our sentence. However, because these words are not specifically ours and we are borrowing them from the text, we have to put them in quote marks. Good. As a, quote, glittering kingdom. Nice. Have we now answered our second question?
Yes.
Good. Well, this is not too bad. Is this now doable? Of course it is. Of course it's doable.
I just wrote glittering quote.
Okay, now, we don't need to use the word quote. It's a verb, it's what we do. She doesn't quote people. If you quote someone, you use something from an external source. If she's talking to people, so-and-so said this, and I quote, blah-de-blah. But we don't ever need to use the word quote. So I never, ever want to see the word quote in your writing. However, what we need to then look at is the next set of questions. So which one are we going to focus on first? Why do these words show us how she feels? Why do these words work? Why has she chosen to use these words? I think that is probably going to be the best set of questions that we need to answer. If you have a look at how many why questions there are, in comparison to how many what and how questions there are, where do you think the most of your marks are going to come from? The why bit. This is the juicy part. This is the texture, okay, and the meat of your response. That is where the majority of your marks will come from. Okay, so let's ask why. Why does she use these words, glittering kingdom, to show us that she feels that this place is magical? So go into the notes that we wrote. What are we going to say? So this is where we constantly use our annotations to help us frame our response. Holly?
Which one are we doing?
This one here. So, why do these words show us that she feels the narwhal are magical? So, have our annotations open. Find the evidence. Find the quote that we used. What notes did we write down? What notes did we write down? Fairy tale. Keep going.
Ice and sun shining on the snow.
Yep, lovely. Keep going.
Innocent. Harmless. Oh, that's a different bit.
Right. Look at the board. Instead of the word shows, we've got portrays, illustrates, implies, depicts, insinuates, evokes, creates, explores, persuades, highlights, conveys, reveals. What do we like, Holly? Evoke. Kari Herbert has evoked a sense of, what was the point that we said?
Being a fairy tale.
The sense of the narwhal living in a fairy tale. Nice. Kari Herbert has evoked a sense of the narwhal, that the narwhal.
That.
That.